He's on his way there, but had a little drama yesterday. He's heading back to the Super Bowl for the third time in his career. But you know what? There's at least one person out there who is not impressed. Darrell Revis took a shot at Sherman on social media, calling him out for playing zone instead of traveling with the best receiver all game. Sherman clapped back, saying Revis didn't play as well as him year 9 and told the former All-Pro to, quote, enjoy the view from your couch. And there's some history, Skip, I know, with the two of you guys. So I would like to start with you, Skip, on this one. Whose side are you on here?
I am on Darrell Revis' side, as I was from the start when I found myself right in the middle of this beef at the outset, which was shortly after the 2012 season. I want to remind everybody, at that point, Richard was taking shots at everybody. Tom Brady, Roddy White, A.J. Green. And the point was that this is in March of 2013. Richard asked at that point to come on First Take with me and Stephen A. Smith.
Right.
And his point through his rep to us was that he had taken on so many people via Twitter and publicly that he didn't want to do that anymore. He just wanted to talk some off-season football. And I said, okay, we'll just open up talking about football. We were on an abbreviated show that was on regular ESPN that day in the afternoon. And I thought it was going to be fairly tame, except Richard was a little late and he wasn't quite mic'd up as the interview was supposed to start. So they asked me to sort of vamp for a moment while he got hooked up. Well, he'd been going back and forth already with Darrell Revis. And what had happened was that Richard, just for the backstory, actually started all this when in a Twitter Q&A, he was asked to rank his top 5 cornerbacks, and he didn't put Revis in his top 5. This is right after the 2012 season, early 2013. And you were close with Darrell because you were his teammate for many years with the Jets. And the point was, Richard took a shot by saying, well, he didn't even play last year, so I'm not going to put him in the top 5. And Revis fired back on Twitter, this is back then, this dude just steady putting my name in his mouth to get notoriety, which was the truth. And then Richard fired back on Twitter at Darrell, this is before the First Take, just before the First Take show, your name will be irrelevant once you step back on the field. I'm living off performance. You're living off reputation. So that was hot, but we had decided on First Take not to do that. But as I vamped, I made the point that I know they've been going back and forth and that right now, to me, Revis is the better corner because he's been doing it for 6 years and made 4 Pro Bowls, and Richard had only been doing it for 2. And I said, not yet. You're not yet the better cornerback than Darrell. I mean, it's Darrell. It was Revis Island. You were in the middle of all that. So Richard, I assume, heard this as he was getting mic'd up. And when Kerry Champion asked the first just sort of, non-controversial question, he just exploded all over me. He got very personal about it, said he's better at life than I am. And I'm like, what do you know about my life? Because I didn't know him, he didn't know me. But the point was that I began to argue back at him exactly what happened last night. I said, you can't consider yourself better than Darrell Revis because he travels and you never travel. And nobody had really picked up on this yet, but I said, you do not follow the other team's best receiver. You don't take the ultimate challenge game after game like Darrell does. And you know that he did take that challenge. So the point is that I finished my argument with him by saying, you are backed up by the 2 best safeties in pro football. You're a zone corner with Cam Chancellor behind you and that Earl behind you, because those 2 guys, is there anybody better than those 2 at that point? That was the early part of Legion of Boom, right?
Yes.
So the point was that Revis couldn't help himself last night, and he had to drive it back. But remember, Richard started this back after the 2012 season, and when Revis saw him give up the bomb last night to Devontae, and I don't know who was supposed to be back. Somebody was supposed to have some deep help there. And I don't know how Richard wound up man-to-man on him because it looked man-to-man when he's a zone corner. But then Richard got even late in the game and basically ended the game with some double coverage, and he got behind the receiver and caught the interception that ended the game.
Well,
so,
sure. Sherman tried to jump the under route. That's what Sherman tried. He was trying to get a cheap pick late in the ball game. That's what happens.
All right. Well, he did. Okay, I got it. So again, I'm going to hang with Darrell on this just because I have so much respect for him, and I've had many arguments with Darrell about, is he better than Deion? No, he's not better than Deion, but he's better than Richard Sherman because Richard has always been nothing but the zone corner.
The way I look at it like this.
Go ahead.
I'm on Sherman's side for this. Now, I do believe that Revis at his height was better than Sherman at his best. But Revis has been retired for 3 years. What are you talking about now?